Hello, friends, and welcome. Welcome to another episode where I review vintage fountain pens. Today, I have for you a beauty from England from the beginning of the 1950s. And I have here in my hands a beautiful Mabie Todd Swan Calligraph. We have here imprinted calligraph, and we have on the grip section Swan. This is a nice colored fountain pen. You can see it is in this shade of blue, light blue, and it is in wonderful, wonderful condition for its age. First of all, guys, I will leave the fountain pen aside because I want to speak about the history of this brand. I always thought that Marbie Todd and Company was an English brand, but to my surprise, as I did my research on this fountain pen, I found out that initially this company was an American company. It started its existence in 1873 by the name of Mabie Todd and Bard in New York. So Mr. Todd and Mr. Mabie, they produced pencil cases and pen holders in New York from approximately the 1860s. But at the beginning of the 1870s, they were joined by the producers of gold nibs called Bard Brothers. Okay, so they started a business in 1873, and by 1884, they patented and manufactured the famous Swan fountain pen with a clever design of an over under feed with ink delivery assisted by a twisted silver wire. Also in 1884, an office is established in the UK with a showroom in Cheapside, London. The branch from the United Kingdom was supplied with a steady amount of pens from the mother firm in New York. In 1906, the company was rebranded as Mabie Todd and Company New York. And also in 1907, British production began using imported nibs from New York. While the company in UK flourished, the business in US started having problems because of the stiff competition from new manufacturers. And by 1915, the company in England had a factory in Western Street, London, and was doing so great that the New York company agreed to sell the rights to all European and colonial business to Mabie Todd and Company Limited of England. During the First World War, the business continued to flourish in England with factories both in London and Liverpool. And by the end of the 1930s, Mabie Todd England managed to perform to produce all its components part in the UK. They practically manufactured pens in the London factory, gold nibs in Birmingham, and even ink in Liverpool. During the World War II, the main production was centered on wartime components such as rockets, fuses, and ammunition. And some facilities in London suffered from the Blitzkrieg campaign, from the bombing of London. Only in 1946, after the end of the World War II, they resumed the production of fountain pens. In 1949, they invented a system for Swan fountain pens, a filling mechanism of ink, and they launched their new high profile calligraph range to join the competition for the new market trend of italic nibs. But during this period, they went public with their auctions. It was the rise of the ballpoint pen. So in 1952, a large share of the company's stocks were purchased by Biro Pens, and the company became Biro Swan. Unfortunately, the new owners didn't pay much attention to the fountain pen, and sales started to be seriously affected. And by 1956, the rich history of Swan pens ended, and their factory was were closed. So, guys, like a poetic piece, this is the last song of the Swan by this company. I think that they did their best to develop this fountain pen. This was the last attempt to be competitive on the market, to follow the market needs. Unfortunately, this wasn't enough. Let's look at this beautiful, beautiful fountain pen. Although it's made in the 1950s, I don't think this is a celluloid, but rather an injection molded plastic. Let's start with the barrel, and with these inscriptions, Mabie Todd and Co. Limited, made in England, the famous one logo. Here, calligraph. We continue with the cap. It has three gold rings, a distinction of the top of the line fountain pens in that period. We have this rather nice looking clip. Let me see how functional it is. Yes, it is also gold plated, and it ends again with the logo of the swan. At the end of the cap, we have this rounded gold plated metallic part, and this is part of the filling mechanism, and I show you how it operates. Unfortunately, in time it developed this white color to it. I'm not so sure how this happened. I think this is isn't casein to be affected by the sweat or by the water, but maybe I'm wrong. If you know the material, please write in the comment. This appears to be plastic and not celluloid. You can see the breathing holes. We have three breathing holes on the cap. The cap unscrews, and it reveals the grips section, also in black plastic, swan engraved on it. We have a beautiful nib with C from calligraphy. A rather nice looking breathing hole, a heart shaped breathing hole. And we have engraved swan 2 14 karat Mabie Todd. So on the back we have a lovely looking ebonite feed, and on the ebonite feed we have imprinted swan SF2. SF2. So maybe this is a factory number for the size of the nib. I'm not so sure. If you look closely, this nib was affected in time. I think it is a little bit bent. We will see how it writes. And I think that the feed is slightly misaligned with the nib. But it is what it is. So this has a rather interesting filling mechanism. You simply turn this and you immerse it in ink After you immerse it, you return it to the position and you leave it like there for 30 seconds to allow the ink to be drawn to the inner sac. So guys, this is the fountain pen. Because I think it is from the early 1950s. I have also a fountain pen from the early 1950s, but this time a German fountain pen, a quite popular model, the Pelican 140. It has a different filling mechanism. This is a piston filler with an ink window. But I wanted to show this model to see the approximate size of the fountain pen, the English fountain pen. You can see that there are medium-sized fountain pens, the same length. Let us see how the nibs compare to each other. Yes, they are quite similar. Both 14 karat gold nibs. And indeed, the feed from the 140 is a little bit more elaborate. This is a simple feed. And I will also leave the dimensions of this Mabie Todd Swan Calligraph from the early 50s on the screen. And after that, we will do the writing sample. I'm not so sure if the sac needs to be replaced, so I will try to fill it. And if it doesn't work, I will simply dip it in ink and we will do the writing sample, because I think that that ebonite feed can hold enough ink for you guys to see how the calligraph performs. For the writing sample, I said to myself to use a color of the ink that matches this color of the body of the ink of the fountain pen, and I said to myself, why not a turquoise from Faber-Castell will do the job. I will put the German aside, the Gruner, and let me see now. For the writing sample, I need to change the angle of the camera, so wait a second, guys. Okay, it looks pretty okay. Let me see now. Okay, just give it a little shake to the ink, and I hope you can see. Yes, so I will insert this fountain pen like this, but I wanted you to see. No problem. So I will simply rotate the ending, then I rotate it back, and I will wait for a few seconds to allow the ink to be drawn. I don't hear or see bubbles in the ink. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. I'm sorry, guys. So, okay, I will write with it as it is. I'm not so sure that the sac is in proper working order. So, I have here a Mabie Todd Swan fountain pen from the, I believe, 1951, circa 1951. It is the version calligraph. Okay, it has a 14 carat gold nib, and judging by the way it writes, I think it is an F nib F for fine. Okay, let me see now how it performs. Let me see if we have some line variations. So I will give you a little zoom, guys. Okay, now it's good. So yes, definitely we have line variations. Let me check it out. Not much flex, but definitely a semi-flexible nib. Let me test here also the pressure. So here no pressure, and here we apply some little pressure. Definitely you can see a slight line variation. Okay, let me see how juicy this nib is. A medium juice nib. It has some sweet spot, and you notice here that it scratched a little bit, but not in an annoying way. Let me see how we can manage to do a signature review. Yes, nice, nice, nice. And I think we are okay. But I certainly I want to show you how flexible this nib is. So you can see that the tines, I don't want to exaggerate, but the tines definitely have a spread, like you see. Okay, let me check also the reverse writing. So let me see. Reverse. No, it was certainly not designed for this type of job. It writes like you see, but it scratches a little bit. But if you want to write extra fine with it, here is the extra fine variant. Okay, and now for a proper writing sample, let me tell you about that naughty little fox. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I have to tell you, I'm quite impressed with this nib. Maybe it suffered in time some little damage to it, and you can see it's a little bit bent. Let me give you a zoom to see what I mean. You see it at the tip. It's a little bit bent. Maybe some point in history it was dropped. Remember, this has approximately 70 years old. It's not a new writing instrument, but it is gorgeous and wonderful, and I'm quite happy to own this in my collection. So, guys, this was my review of a nice English fountain pen, which has its roots in America, in New York, believe it or not. I always thought that the Mabie Todd it is a British brand, but this was certainly made 100% in England using English machines and English know-how. So this is an English product. Unfortunately, the last product, it reminds me of the Shoneken 111 Extra, which was meant to compete with the Meisterstück line from Mont Blanc, but it didn't have commercial success. And judging by the sales of this one calligraph, although it tries to meet the demand of the market from that period of italic nibs, it appears that it wasn't a commercial success. So a true swan song, and a shame that this famous manufacturer of fountain pens had to close its gates in 1956. Guys, thank you for your time. I wish you to have a nice day wherever you are. I hope you've enjoyed this little review of this English beauty. If you did, please subscribe to my channel to support my activity. I wish you to have a nice day. Thank you for your time. We will see you again at the next episode. Till then, bye bye.